What's going on, everybody? Welcome back once again to Behind the Mask podcast. As always, I'm your boy Facci, and that guy right over there is
James Grimm.
holy shit, it's James Grimm. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Chilling. Got a 12-pack of these beers, Christmassy beers, and I'm going to be enjoying them while we discuss Scream 2, the top 5 moments.
Top 5 moments. Just like the first episode, we'll do the top 5 moments, and then we'll dive into our WTF moments, if there are any, our favorite character, and then finally, our rating for Scream 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Scream top moments in Scream 1, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy our second podcast on the Scream franchise as we get closer to Scream.
I was going to say, our first episode popped hard, huh?
Yeah, nobody cared about us at all, guys. Come on.
No one watched it.
There was a lot of effort put into that episode compared to a live stream, and we got nothing.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
It was very. And we put it up on both of our channels so it would get double the exposure, and it did not.
Right, it did not.
I don't even know how many views it has total. Not as many as I would hope.
It has less views than the Roseblood review I just did.
That is pathetic.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, Roseblood's great. I like Roseblood. I'm just saying. That video has been out for what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you said, my Roseblood has more views than this one that we took a lot of time and effort to do. So that's kind of upsetting, but we're gonna go for it again. I enjoy talking movies with my man James, so we'll keep this going as long as we damn well want to.
Yeah. And I have fun doing it, and that's the biggest thing about this is having fun and enjoying what you're doing. The views are nice though, so if you guys want to hit the thumbs up when you watch this, if you watch it, that'd be great too. Thumbs up and thumbs downs do help, gets you in the algorithm, and that does help your boys. So whether it's my channel or his channel or both channels,
Help the boys.
Yeah, help us out.
And by the way, as you've noticed, YouTube did away with the dislike button, so now if you dislike the video, it doesn't tell anybody else. So
I tried to enable it. I tried to find a place to enable it because I wanted it enabled. And
no luck?
No. Well, no, there's extensions that you can get through your browser to do it, but then I believe only you see it, no one else. So that defeats the purpose of what I wanted.
It's a sad world, people. It's a sad world.
I like seeing the thumbs down. I do like it. I like people seeing it. You know, I want people to know like what's going on, what people think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I don't get too many thumbs downs, so.
Yeah, I think the channel average for me is like 90% positive, so I'll take that.
I mean, when I get 6 views a video, it's kind of hard to get that one thumbs down, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, dude. I'll thumbs down your next
Love
video.
you guys out there. Love it. Okay, we're going to dive into our top 5 moments now. Mine, I guess, are in no particular order, and I believe you said yours are not in any particular order either.
No, they're not. Ew, that's kind of gross, but... that was disgusting.
Drinking nasty beer while talking Scream 2. It sounds like a fantastic time.
It shouldn't have been this pricey tasting like that.
You got sold, boy.
You know it.
And by the way,
yes.
It's convenient that I'm wearing a Halloween 4 shirt and he's wearing a Halloween 5 shirt. So we need somebody else on the other side to be wearing a Halloween 6 shirt.
Yes. In the jacket I have is Halloween Kills.
Nah, that was, what is that, a movie that came out? Or?
Oh, yeah, I think it came out, last, no, it's coming out last year. Never mind.
Yeah, it came out last year, yes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let you go first with your first of your top 5 moments.
Cool, and none of these are really in order, unlike the last one where the number 1 was number 1, and Facci and I both agreed on it.
Yes.
But kind of like the last one, I'm going to actually do it differently, and the opening of Scream 2 is one of my top 5 moments, because it's one of those things where, all right, they did it to us one time already in Scream 1, where
yes,
they killed Drew Barrymore off very quickly. So we think that Jada Pinkett at the time, I don't think she was married to Will Smith yet. We didn't think they were gonna kill her off, right? I mean, at least I didn't.
No.
So, dude, I thought that moment was very ballsy as well. Kind of like killing. I don't know if it was as ballsy as killing Drew Barrymore, because Drew Barrymore was not like, I don't think anyone could predict that.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone was going to predict that they would do the same thing 2 times in a row, because it becomes too predictable at that point. But having them do that and then kill her boyfriend, which is played by, is it Omar Epps?
Omar Epps.
Yes.
Yep.
And the way he dies, he gets the knife in the ear. One thing I will complain about that kill though is when he's laying in a pool of his blood, I can't help but think that it looks like chocolate syrup. I don't know if it was the blood effect like shining off his leather jacket or what it was, but it looked a little weird. But when she sits down, or when when Ghostface sits down next to her, and she realizes there's blood on him, and that fool starts, he's stabbing her. And the one stab that really hurts me, like just watching, is when he sticks into the rib cage, and you can see him kind of like trying to pull out, and he's like struggling to get it out.
Yeah.
Like stuck in there so much. And then she goes on top of the theater stage, and she just dies. She fucking does that.
So dramatic.
Dude, and then she falls, and boom. And I thought that was epic as fuck. Like, I don't know, like it wasn't as cool as seeing Casey Becker die in part 1, hanging from a tree with her family, or her family finding her.
Yeah.
But this one was a nice setup for what this movie was gonna eventually bring us. So that is my number 1. Or not my number 1, but one of the top 5.
One of the top 5. Well, instead of me jumping on that later, since they're not in any particular order, I have the opening on my top 5 list as well. Like you said, they did it in the first one. Fantastic opening, probably one of the best openings in a horror movie of all time. And then they turn around and give us this opening, which I really enjoy. I love the playfulness of the whole thing, the movie theater environment. Yes. The lucky ass people that get free costumes when they go to the movies, which I've never been lucky enough to get a free costume when I go to the movie theater, but whatever. If you don't want to treat me like that, that's fine. But that's fine. And then, obviously you could tell the atmosphere inside the theater. They got the Ghostface flying down from the screen. They got everybody running around with the costumes on. Them 2 girls that are going to the concession stand, they're literally freaked out about the concept of this movie because it was a true story. And then, I don't even know Jada Pinkett's character's name. What is it?
That's a good question. I forgot. I forgot as well.
If anybody knows, you can leave it in the comments below, because
Yeah.
I can't think of her name. But she's obviously overhearing them, and gets her freaked out inside too, because she wanted to go see some Sandra Bullock shit down the street, if you recall.
Yes.
But I like the couple, Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett. I think they were a great match. It's somebody you could easily relate to going to the movies. And I like how he was making fun of the black aspect. All black movie, all black cast, all black wardrobe. He doesn't want to see that. Jada maybe wants to, but he doesn't.
Right.
And just like you said, the whole opening scene and the atmosphere surrounding it. Plus, this woman is getting brutally murdered in front of the whole theater, and not one person can tell it's real, because obviously everybody is into the movie. They're pretending to stab people left, right, and center, so they don't know if it's real or not. And that dramatic scream she lets out at the top, and just boom. Then it goes Scream 2. And like you said, you know what kind of movie you're in for. It's going to be similar to the first, but they're not going to hold back on the kills in this one at all, being the second part of a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So the opening had to make my top 5, no doubt.
I like how Ghostface was able to blend in no problem with everyone else, because everyone else is having their glow in the dark knives, and they're all swinging, and they're all woo, and they're all like freaking out. So we don't know what's real and what's not. And the moment she gets on the stage and she starts screaming, everyone starts taking their mask off, and everyone starts realizing, holy shit, dude, this is not fake anymore. This is real shit. So that seems pretty impactful, I thought.
Agree 100%. All right, that was a good way to kick off this episode. What do you got for your number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to go with the classroom scene where all the students are discussing sequels. And I love how it's kind of self-aware about what sequels are good, how sequels suck, and then everyone starts talking about what are good sequels. Empire Strikes Back, The Godfather. I thought that was really a nice play on the movie, kind of being self-aware that sequels, for the most part, a majority of the time, aren't as good as the first movie. And I like how they try to play on that. And before we went live on here, we kind of discussed our feelings towards Scream 2. And at times I put Scream 2 number 1, depends on what day of the week it is. And then some days I put number 1. and I know you feel a little differently in that.
Yes.
Because you just recently did a watch along with Destiny. But I really liked how it was self-aware, like how the sequels never match up to the first one. Kind of like even in Scream 1, where Casey Becker's on the phone with Ghostface, and she's talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and you know, the first one was good, but the rest sucked. You know, because the sequels usually aren't as good as the first one.
Yes.
So I really liked the chemistry and the dialogue and the dynamic in that scene. So it definitely hits top 5 for me.
I think they should have brought up Friday the 13th Part 2 in that discussion, but that's just me.
I think you're right. Because
that's way better than the first. Yeah. I haven't seen too many people actually say they prefer number 1 over 2. I mean, obviously there's a few sprinkled in, but the majority is definitely putting Part 2 over 1. That's when Friday the 13th franchise actually starts for most people, and me included in that camp. Let me see. I thought I had that. I guess that was a great scene. I thought I had that written down. Speaking of that, they were talking about Alien and Aliens. Just finished Alien today for the first time ever, so I'm looking forward to watching the sequel, Aliens, and seeing if I like that one better.
It is better.
I've heard it is. So, Alien was a slow burn, and you know how I go with those movies. So,
yes,
yeah. Okay. Like we said, not in any particular order. I gotta go with I'm gonna go with the ending, Cotton's redemption. What I mean by that is, obviously, in the first one, you know, he went to prison because of Sydney. She thought she saw him leaving in the jacket. He went to prison. The second one, obviously, he was exonerated. He was out. And they're trying to make him seem like the red herring when he shows up at the library and, you know, back in Sydney down the steps and whatnot. And then he shows up at the, what is that, the AV hall or whatever that is, with like the TVs and stuff, and then covered in Dewey's blood. And then we're like, oh shit, dude, it could really be Cotton. And then what does he do? He comes back at the end of the movie to be the hero that I'm glad that he was, because I really enjoyed Cotton's on-screen time, even though he did seem hella awkward at the end, saying the lines he was saying. Wow, that was intense. He's like, we should probably have our stories together here so people know what happened here today. Dude, he doesn't get it because he's not like Sydney, who's like a professional at this by now. But the fact that he manned up, as much as he probably hated Sydney for sending him to prison, he still would never hurt her, because he did care for her in some way, shape, or form. And whenever he was like talking about that 10 minutes with Diane Sawyer's looking pretty good, isn't it? And she's like, done. And then he shoots freaking Mrs. Loomis. I was like, that's like a cheering moment right there for Cotton. You wanted that to happen. And unfortunately, you know, the love for Cotton doesn't last that long past Part 2, but that's for another episode of this in the near future. But definitely Cotton's redemption at the end of the film, I had to put on my top 5.
That's a good one. I didn't have that on mine, and you're right though, because it's like all he wants to do is get his story out there. He wants people to know his story, and the only way he can do that is through Sydney, so she can hear him out on what happened and what did not happen. So that's a good choice, man.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Shit. Did you give your 4? Yeah, you did. No, you didn't.
My 4?
I mean, you gave your second one.
I gave my second one, yeah.
Losing track.
No, you're good. I'm gonna go with this next one. The scene in the studio, like, I don't know if it's like a radio like studio where Ghostface is chasing Dewey and Gale, and I love how it's a nice little chase scene, but then the two split off, right?
Yep.
And she can see him on one side.
It's the double-sided glass.
It's double-sided glass, yeah. And and you think this is the moment that Dewey gets killed finally. This is the moment, and I love how he gets slammed up against the glass and the blood flies on it, and you know, it just I don't know. There's something about that moment that I thought was really memorable in comparison to a majority of the other films, because like Sarah Michelle Gellar's character who got thrown off the balcony, that's cool and all, but I feel like the way this was shot and the impact that it had in comparison to even Dewey in the first film, like you thought like this was it, Dewey was done and Gale needs to get away. And I thought that was just an important moment for the film. And then we find out he lives and he's back for Part 3, Part 4, and Part 5.
Oh, sweet mother.
Sweet mother of God.
I think he's unkillable.
I think he's unkillable.
Just like Michael Myers.
Like
I'm just
Michael
kidding.
Myers.
Maybe Michael Myers is Dewey.
Oh,
How about that?
conspiracy theory.
I don't know. He didn't walk with no goofy limp. So,
He didn't.
however, the Dewey limp goes away the farther we get in the franchise. I'm just saying. Part 3, he only limps a tiny bit, and his hand's normal, if I'm not mistaken. So continuity might be thrown out the window a little bit.
I love when in that moment, in that scene where Dewey gets hit up against the glass and he like he hit the audio button. He's okay, and she looks and she just sees the horror in front of her eyes, and then Ghostface is trying to smash the fucking glass and it's unbreakable. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, and that's my number 3 on the list as well, my friend. I just have to mention Dewey steps in some nasty ass old pizza, I think, on the ground. And that's disgusting, as it sticks to his foot when he lifts it up. That's pretty gross. That reminds me of how pizza was in like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like TV shows back in the day. It's always so fucking slimy and disgusting.
Slimy cheese and shit.
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of. But first of all, a part of that scene that I don't really like that much. They could have went anywhere, to hook up a camcorder to a television. Instead, they go to a campus building where they wouldn't be allowed in at all anyway, because they're not students, so that makes no sense. And then, instead of worrying about that, they start to try to have sex on the desk at the very inopportune time. But I'm not going to count that right now.
I don't know. I shouldn't say much. I shouldn't say anything.
I'm not going to say. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But like you said, the emotion, obviously, that Gale has seeing Dewey, who obviously she has feelings for, being brutally what you would assume to be murdered. For real this time. There's blood everywhere. I mean, Ghostface ain't messing around. It ain't like the first movie where he just stabbed off screen, stumbles on, falls over. I mean,
Right.
You could live through that. But there's blood everywhere.
Yep.
And you are assuming he's not going to make it. I don't know if the director of Wes Craven intended him to die in this one, like he did in the first one, but, people bitched if they had any test screenings, and then they had to bring him back again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Probably, I wouldn't doubt it, because Dewey's a beloved character in the franchise, obviously. But that was the chase was intense, even though Dewey falls down the steps, which had me cracking up, but that's okay. Making that gimp go up and down the steps so many times, like, he has a limping problem. Jeez. Gale's looking pretty good in this one, I ain't gonna lie.
I was gonna say she looks very fire in this movie.
She looks really good in this movie. The next one's a different story, but this one she looks good. Her hair's looking fire. Me and Destiny talked about that on the stream. But that was a great chase scene, a lot of intensity, a lot of suspense. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, Courtney Cox looked on point in this movie, I'll say that. I mean, she looked good in the first one too. I'll say that.
Yeah, she did. Goes downhill from there, but that's okay.
I think, the hair in part 3. My God, that's gonna be a what the fuck moment in the next episode. I guarantee it.
You think?
So my next one would be the campus scene leading to Randy's death.
Okay.
Where Gale and Dewey, they're going around, they're searching, because at this point Randy's on the phone with the killer, whether it be Mickey or Mrs. Loomis, and we have Gale and Dewey breaking, going out from their own ways, looking for people who are on the phone at the campus because they're aware that Ghostface is watching them at this point.
Yes.
And I love how you see them just taking phones out of people's hands and shit, and they're getting on the phone like a wrong person and things like that. And then you have that moment where Randy's like, Billy was a mama's boy, and he was just talking all kinds of mad shit. And then he gets, I was not expecting Randy to die like this, not this quick. If he was gonna die, I felt it was gonna be in the finale, and that would have been great. But it was so out of left field for me, where he gets fucking thrown into the van, and he just gets brutalized, man. And I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't want it.
No.
And it sucked, but it's such an impactful moment. Like I know how I was saying earlier, like the opening of the movie is kind of like the setup for what this movie's gonna be. Yeah. And it was this moment also where it was like, no one is safe at any time. And it also gave that kind of like idea that Ghostface is everywhere and he's always watching your every move, and it set that up, and I thought it was really good and very ballsy on Wes Craven's part, and they played it off really well. I just wish Randy wouldn't have died so early, but it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
I was gonna say, what was that about? That was about the halfway point of the movie, I'd say.
Yeah.
Maybe if he made it to the end and then got killed, but halfway through, I was hoping he made it to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens. I guess he didn't have as much love for him as they did for Dewey, obviously.
Right.
Unfortunately.
That sucks.
I know the audience probably is not going to like our list because they're very similar. Since you're on the topic, I might as well discuss it as well. No point of rotating it back and forth because then you're just going to have to wait longer to hear it. I also have, I called it "You'll Never Be the Hero" scene. Randy's death. You'll never be the hero and you'll never get the girl. And then, like you said, all that trash talk, dude. Billy Loomis, what the fuck? He's a pussy ass mama's boy. And Stu is a wet rag. A fucking wet rag. Man, why don't you set your goals higher, huh? You want to be one of the big boys? The sad thing is I can't see Mickey saying any of those things. That has nothing to do with the scene, but
I think that was Mickey. I think that was Mrs. Loomis, right?
You think?
I'm pretty sure that was
Mrs. Loomis on the call, then Mickey killing him.
Yeah, probably. Well, see, because of how brutal it was, Randy's death, I almost feel like it would have been her who killed him, because like it wasn't like a couple stabs, it was vicious.
I don't know. Then they showed the boots walking away. I don't know.
Maybe it was Roman.
Those were some yes.
I said that in the last video multiple times.
I could throw Roman in any of these situations. Really?
Yeah.
By the way, I looking forward to talking Scream 3 because I have changed my viewing of Roman. So looking forward to it. I changed my mind on that one big time. So.
But you were saying about this scene, like how it plays out and everything.
I like you said, I like how Gail's freaking taking phones off people and like, who's this? Gail Weathers, author of the Woodsboro Murders. Dude, nobody gives a shit at all. Then they tackle that freaking poor white guy talking to his mom on the phone. May I help you? I think it was his mom. It didn't sound like a mom though, but I could have swore he said mom on the phone.
It might have been.
I don't know, but I like that scene. And then obviously, like you said, we don't want Randy to die. I didn't want him to die at all because he's one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and I was hoping he would have lived through all of them.
Yeah.
But obviously they had to kill one of the main ones off, and he was the odd man out, unfortunately. It's a tough scene to watch. Very depressing. I know a lot of people don't like Randy, actually. I don't know why, but some people don't. But
that's weird.
I do, and that's a scene that always resonates with me because he was a big part of this movie. He was us in this movie, and he did talk with a British accent earlier in the film, which I loved. Just wanted to say that.
I love that too. When he's talking to Dewey.
Would have been a good one too. Do you hear? I heard something about that there was like, I think Destiny told me there was like multiple takes, and for some reason when they edited the film, they used the British accent one instead of his regular voice.
That's fucking weird.
It's weird.
I know, good. It was funny.
I liked it, but it's weird. That only leaves one more moment.
The final one for me is going to be the reveal and motive of Mrs. Loomis and Mickey. I think Timothy Olyphant stole some of the show with that scene. Oh, it's gonna rock! He's gonna rock. He's all, he just, he looked like he was on fucking crack, dude.
He did.
But I love how her motive was to get revenge for her son. His motive was to be famous and get a celeb status, kind of like Sydney. And I love just, I mean, do I feel like the mama thing was a kind of a little much? Maybe a tad, but starting from the beginning of the film, the first time we're actually introduced to Mrs. Loomis, that we're not, obviously her name is not, I don't even remember what her name was.
Her name is Debbie Salt.
There you And I just never anticipated her being the killer.
Me
And
neither.
then she she was just kind of weird and shit, but she wasn't like creepy and had that like serial killer kind of sense to her.
Yeah.
And then when she finally comes into the picture and she's explaining her motive and how she's Billy's mom and everything, it's like, damn, this bitch just flipped the script. No, I thought it was great. And then Mickey, he's always, God, I thought he was great throughout the entire film. And it was the moment we found out he's the killer and he's explaining his motive and everything. It just made me fall in love with that character.
Definitely agree. I will say, they took him out of the film for a portion of the middle of the movie, and we totally forgot about him. I wish he would have been on screen more. And another quick thing, when you watch this for the first time, who were you leaning towards as the killer?
I thought it was gonna be Sydney's boyfriend again.
Again. Honestly, I don't think I had a guess at all.
Really?
They really didn't point it in any direction, really, except for Cotton. But that would have been too obvious since he was supposed to be the killer originally.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't. So I'd have to go with nobody. I honestly didn't know.
Really?
I definitely wouldn't have thought Mickey because he wasn't really in the movie that much.
Yeah, he was there, but he wasn't like put out there to be someone of importance, and that's what would make it kind of like by the time the reveal occurs, you would think that it's less impactful, but then I think his performance kind of just shifted that for me.
Yeah, I agree. Then my last moment on this list would be the scene where Dewey and Randy are eating ice cream at the Baskin-Robbins, talking about the suspects. I absolutely love that scene. He's going over, Mickey, freaky Tarantino film student, but if he's a suspect, then I'm a suspect. And how then he has to explain to Dewey, well, if I'm a suspect, then you're a suspect. Then he's like, okay, let's move on. So, and then the part whenever what was Sid's roommate's name? I'm not good with names. Not in this movie, anyway.
She's the one with the short hair. She died by the cop car, right?
Yeah. I can't think of her name
either.
And when he says, there's always room for Candyman's daughter. She's sweet. She's deadly. She's bad for your teeth. I just love the whole scene. Another reason why Randy's death scene was so traumatizing, because I thought Jamie Kennedy brought a lot to the role of Randy and the character. And I love pretty much Jamie Kennedy in anything that he's ever done, to be honest. I think he's a hilarious dude. Seems like a really cool guy. And Randy was a really cool guy in the movie. And that scene with him and Dewey seemed really like friends. Even though obviously they probably didn't see each other that much. They weren't close like, Sydney would be to Dewey. But you could see that they had a connection. I think that's the one thing that these movies do really well, is the personal connection between the characters. I think they all seem, so far, and 1 and 2, that they all could be real friends and hang out and be like normal people like you and me. So I think that scene really stands out for me.
Yeah, they're all the chemistry, how organic everything feels. It just feels really genuine. I agree, and that's the brilliance behind the casting choices for everything throughout these films. Even through I wouldn't say part 4, but at least the first 3 films.
Shout out to Sarah Michelle Gellar. What?
Oh, gets thrown off. She also was featured in Halloween H2O.
Yeah, on the TV, yes.
On the TV.
And I Know What You Did Last Summer, and in Scream 2.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
Great job, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Chris Duran,
stunt double.
Yep.
I thought that was a cool fact. My man, Michael Myers from H2O, baby. I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, that's fucking Michael Myers underneath that outfit. Awesome. So, now that our top moments are out of the way, do you have any WTF moments?
I mean, I didn't have any on hand necessarily, but I'll go ahead and give you one. Is the whole fucking singing in the cafeteria moment.
Shut your mouth.
Did you like it?
Hell yeah, I sang it on the stream.
You did?
Yeah.
Glad I missed it.
Fuck you. It's probably inappropriate.
Fuck that moment, dude. It's so weird. And then you got Mickey. Yeah.
That's why I was like, there's no way he's the killer. Look at that guy.
He's too happy.
Yeah.
He's always smiling and shit.
He
No,
was.
that is what the fuck moment for me. It was kind of just random.
I agree. It was kind of random. I'll give you that.
And if the guy could sing, I think it would have been better.
Yeah, it's Jerry O'Connell. You leave him alone.
Yeah. He's all right.
Oh, you're good. I got 2 WTF moments. The opening bathroom stab, okay? He's stabbing a knife through a fucking bathroom stall wall, okay? And he lined it up perfectly to go into his head. That would be very difficult to do. And I don't think the knife would even go through that. I don't. It's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a WTF moment for me. It's funnier in Scary Movie when he sticks his dick through the hole, but that's way funnier.
You know, I think it would have been better if it wasn't through the ear, if it was through the cheek or something, because at this point you have a full head to kind of go with,
Yeah.
not just this one specific area right here. So if it went through the cheek and you could see it through the mouth,
that'd make more sense.
like a blade, and then he pulls it out, and then he goes into the next stall, and then that would have been dope.
I think
the shock factor. He just stabbed him in the fucking ear straight to the brain, boom, done.
And chocolate syrup ensued.
It didn't look brown like brown syrup.
Maybe.
You have to rewatch it.
I gotta rewatch that one scene to see chocolate syrup.
It doesn't look like blood to me. There's a what the fuck moment. Doesn't look like blood.
And then I have another one, Mrs. Loomis the killer. I was like, yeah, what the fuck?
Really?
I just couldn't. Come on, she didn't kill nobody. Give me a break.
She killed everybody.
That was Mickey killing everybody. She didn't do anything. All she did was make the phone calls.
You
And
know
she
what?
set the whole thing up. That's
I
it.
bet you're right. I bet you're right. I bet you she didn't have any blood on her hands at all. I bet you it was all Mickey.
Only person she wanted to kill was Sid. That was it. Mickey's a good dude, though. He's a good dude. He's on that serial killer list website. Which leads me into our next topic: favorite character.
Oh man, it's gonna be Mickey, bro.
It's gotta be Mickey, bro.
I mean, Mickey, dude, he's great. I love Timothy Oliphant in like everything he's in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he's really good.
Have you ever seen The Perfect Getaway with him
Ooh,
and Mila Jovovich or something, however you say her name? That's a good movie. Really good movie.
I like
Highly recommend it. Steve Zahn, Timothy Oliphant,
Oh yeah,
Mila Jovovich or whatever. Yeah, it's a good movie.
the chick from Resident Evil.
Yeah, her.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay,
That's his wife in the movie. It's a good movie.
nice. I'll check it out.
What else did he play in? He played in The Crazies, the remake. I love that.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
That's good. Angelina Jolie, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. What else? He was in the Santa Clarita Diet TV show.
That sounds like a Weight Watchers thing.
Have you seen it?
No.
So it's him and Drew Barrymore, and she becomes dead or something. It's been a while since I've seen it, but she dies and she comes back, and now she needs to survive off eating humans.
Wow.
And it's a comedy show. It's fucking great. They canceled it after like 3 seasons, or something. It sucks. And then the little boy who plays Tommy Doyle in Rob Zombie's Halloween, he plays like a teenager in this one and everything else. It's a really funny show actually, and I think you'd like it.
The kid that played Tommy Doyle in Rob Zombie's Halloween, I don't know if you've ever seen Vacation from 2015. I think he was the son in that movie.
Was he?
I think so.
I have not seen it.
Nobody likes that movie that much. I do. I think it's hilarious.
Vacation. I've never even heard of it. I mean, I don't have heard of it.
Yeah, like obviously you heard of National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah.
It's just that new version of that.
Oh, really? Like a modernized kind of.
It's the same family and everything. It's the Griswolds, but it's Rusty all grown up.
Okay.
And most people don't like it. I do. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
But I'm stupid, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I have probably no interest in it.
Fuck you then. Okay, that brings us to our final category, which is our rating for Scream 2. So how many stars are you going to give this out of 5?
I'm going to give this one 3.5.
Respectable.
Because I think with Scream 1, I think I gave it a 4.0 or a 4.25, I believe. This one, a 3.5. 3.5 to 3.75.
Upon, before going into this, I'd say I'd probably give it a 4. After rewatch, I dropped it to a 3.
3. Wow.
3 out of 5
That's a whole
for Scream
star,
2.
bro.
Still respectable score. Still an enjoyable movie to watch, but it's not going to be one of the 4 movies that I watch frequently. Not anymore. I thought it was. If it would have had a little bit more Mickey in it, I think I would like it a lot more.
Right.
But without Mickey's development throughout, kind of drops it down for me. A lot of small talk, chit chat in the middle. I think they could have trimmed it down a little bit. But these Scream movies like to stay around 2 hours, so.
Right. You know, and another what the fuck moment for me is like the whole the frat boys getting Jerry O'Connell's character, and then I know it's the setup for how he dies later on, which that moment's gnarly. Mickey shoots him in the chest, and you see the hole, and
that's great effects.
Puts her hand over it, dude. That's disgusting.
It looked real as hell though.
It looks so real, but the setup for that was kind of like, what the fuck? They chased him down because he gave away the necklace or something to Sydney.
Yep.
I just thought that was really dumb.
Yeah, so if that never would have happened, then obviously he wouldn't have got shot.
Right. That's why I think the setup was dumb, and they could have figured something else out.
Because he would have lived, because he wouldn't have been hanging from the freaking sky.
Or Mickey would have done something behind the scenes, kidnapped him, and then put him up there and prop him up that way anyways. You know.
Damn, more WTF moment. How did Mickey get back to the theater before Sydney? And then how would he have known that Sydney was going to go to the theater? Because they got the music playing and everything before Sydney even gets there. Makes you think.
I have to rewatch this now.
Yeah, because it just don't make sense.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe that's why it dropped a little bit too. The first one made sense for the most part. This one kind of has some
What's going on here?
Yeah, definitely. Still a fun watch. I mean, like we said, there's 4 movies in this franchise so far. None of them are utterly but terrible. So that's pretty impressive for a franchise. So
yeah,
this just adds on. We'll see how the 5th one does.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. And that one comes out next month.
Already. That's why we got to get our top moments from 3 and 4 out here before that comes out. I think we got plenty of time though.
I think we have plenty of time, especially because this video will be dropping here in the next day or so, and then part 3 we can start in about a week, and then part 4 probably a week or so from there. So we'll have the last couple out probably by the 3rd week of this month.
That sounds like a plan, my man. So hopefully, if you guys like this video and you haven't already, hit the like button on my channel and his channel, and whichever channel you're watching it on, you might as well go on the other one, right?
Yeah.
You don't gotta watch half on one, half on the other, and leave a comment because we like to read what you guys think. What are your top moments of Scream 2? I'm assuming you probably agree with most of ours because there ain't much left to talk about, unfortunately.
Really
so we're interested in hearing your thoughts. We appreciate all the love and support as always, and we're looking forward to pumping out top moments from Scream 3 here very shortly. So we will see you guys in the next one.
See ya.